demo about my best friend, Raphael. Okay. So, the cool thing about this demo today is that you guys have already done this before. You have a frame of reference. The purpose of what I'm trying to do, it's at the board, is that when you get a bowl and it's done, I'm going to show you how to clean it up and take it off, cut it with wire and finish it. I haven't done that yet. As I'm doing this, because you've done it already, I want you to think about the way my hands are. I want you to think about how much water I'm using, how fast my wheel is going. Think about all this stuff while I'm doing it, and it's going to help you, okay? Someone said yesterday about the quiz. Why do we have a quiz, okay? The one that we're going to have on Monday about the hand positions and, the 4 keys to throwing and, how you're being graded and stuff like that. The reason that we're having a quiz is so that I know that you know the information, that you have it. Because if you don't have the information, like all the students that I graded the notebooks this morning, and they don't have the handout anymore on throwing, I don't know how they know what they're doing every day. They're not pros on it. So I want to make sure that you know the information. And I said, if you really think about it, we have a quiz every single day, okay? You sit down, you don't use any water, your clay comes off, you failed that quiz for the day. You sit down and you go to open, it's nice and centered, but you spiral in and it's off center, you failed that quiz of the day. There's no difference, but if I know that you know the information, I feel a lot better about you sitting here every day working, okay? That's why there's a quiz, because I need to know if you know the information, okay? I'm not going over every step, okay? Yeah. Are you just watching?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not going to go over every step. I'm going to remind you guys of a few things about taking your hands off slowly, but watch what I do, because you've already done it already. It might be a little sickening to watch me do this, since some people are struggling and, I'm the number one pata.
You did that so easy.
And if you really think about it, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference.
All right.
Your guns are bigger than mine. So, and I just think it's a matter of experience. If you truly know how to hold your hands when you do this, and I'm going around and pushing your hands, and I think that that's helping people. Once you have that little bit of experience, it's going to be a big help.
How do you push it down so quick? Like, I gotta it's
Yeah.
hard.
I think that you're just not used to it yet. If anybody's hands are hurting yet from the sand and the clay, scrape the clay off the bottom like that. And will you give me my sponge? It looks like my sponge is gone. Will you give me a sponge from up there, a little one? Another thing, I think that this is one of the most important things I'm getting ready to say. I have students that I'll be watching them, and they're going like this, and it's centered, and centered. You know what they do?
They keep pushing.
They just keep going, and they keep going, and going, and going, and all of a sudden it's like, I can't get this. You had it. Stop. Take your hands off. The other thing you'll notice is I don't ever stop the wheel. Mine just keeps going and going and going. No need to even stop it. Right? So that's centered. I can scrape that clay off the bottom so it's not eating away at the bottom of my hand. Notice how much I clean my hands off from time to time, how much water I'm using also. Thank you. Thank you for looking out for that. So, what hand position is this? What is this? Okay? Some people are leaving their thumb down like that, and it's keeping their hand from going down. Thumb up in the air like this, that pushes down like that. All your centering is right here. I see people, they're sitting up like this, their arms are like that, you have no power at all. And this might be something you think about, put your arm right in there, and then that's what's gonna make it centered. Pushing hard like that. Push hard, hold it steady, slowly release. See some people, they take their hands off too fast too. Opening. My hand is here, I'm not pushing anymore because it's already centered. I just want it to sit right there so that I have both hands working together. If my hands are starting to wobble already, I'm not holding them steady. What's holding my hands steady? My thumb and having my thumb over here. I already need a little bit of water in here, so it slides through. I push at an angle, like this. I am yet to see someone take a fettling knife and check the bottom. What was that for?
Your base.
Thickness of the base, okay? I have seen people open where they open all the way to the wheel head and now they don't have a bottom, okay? So at this point, when I know I've opened enough, I'm gonna take my fingertips like this and I'm gonna pull the clay flat on the bottom so it's a flat bottom. And while I'm doing this, I'm pulling pretty hard. When I'm done, right there, I have to let go softly. Because I see people do this also. They pull out really hard, they let it go quick, and now it's spiraling. Yeah. Yeah, you put it in the wrong way. Or is that her? Yeah. What she might be able to do is just cut it directly in half and overlap it, and hit it, and run it through again. Think about it.
Can I just start over?
You can, but you're just wasting your time. If you cut it in half and then lay one on the other side,
Yeah, wait.
maybe slabs respond to the amount of laughterness and silliness over there at the slab roller.
Maybe.
Okay, so here's where the real problem is. Some people are opening it pretty well. Would this be right for pulling? No. Would this be right for pulling? No, it wouldn't. What is right for pulling?
4 o'clock.
I know 4 o'clock, but fingertips, okay? This is what's happening, okay? People are making stuff up. I already have people squeezing it like this, okay? If you squeeze it like this, you'll be able to make a bowl. You'll never be able to make a cylinder because you can't go higher than this, yes?
Your intern showed us like you would use a sponge.
A sponge on the outside?
Yeah.
I do that, I'm getting ready to show you. I just didn't do it in the demo, but I'll show you what I do.
It works.
Okay, good, so maybe that's gonna help everybody. I thought it'd be confusing as a beginner to do it, but I'm just gonna show you.
Can we done over there, please?
That's a little bit loud.
That's okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
So,
Yeah, bro. You're loud.
here's this. Here's this. What is this right here?
Turn on. Okay.
Toning.
What is this?
Centering.
What is this?
Opening.
Okay? The reason that people mess up on this part is because they want to leave their... The left hand was sitting here the first 3 out of 4, so they want to just leave it there and go like this. By touching all this, it adds resistance, and when the pot starts getting thinner, it just rips the clay off. So if you do it the same thing with this, they're not mirrored. We want this to be the same. So why would you turn your hand like this and go like this? This is not the same at all. You're touching the whole pot. We want to touch through our fingertips like this. So I'm going in the bottom, I'm squeezing. Once I squeeze, I start coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. As I was helping people yesterday, we would squeeze in and their outside hand would start coming up and their inside hand would just stay there. Okay, so you're not really pulling the clay. You squeeze in, you slowly rise up together. And look how relaxed my hand is too. For some reason people do this. Oh, my hands are shaking.
What are you doing?
Okay, curve it like this, soft. I'd practice. Practice here. No one's videotaping you guys. Oh wait, yes I am. This won't be on videotape, but practice. Go like this so you know that you're pinching between your fingertips. I appreciate all the people that do indulge me
So can I do this?
and not the people that don't. I'm too cool for this. Okay, moving on. So what we're talking about with the sponge thing, I throw with a sponge on the outside of my fingers, okay? It helps to keep the clay from kind of sticking to my fingers. If it's really wet, it won't, but I mean, you know, this will get really full of water at some point. So what I do is I hold the sponge in my finger like this, and then I still do the same thing. My fingers are across from each other, but the sponge is in between my fingers. So watch what I do. I'm gonna go in, down at the bottom, I have a ledge. Go to the very bottom, I have a ledge on the inside. I'm starting to pull up, I keep coming up, I keep moving my fingers until I get to the rim. I slowly release. It stays on.
This is like how well
You make it look too easy, man.
Yeah, but you know what? It's experience.
I
It's
know,
just,
that's why it's not
it's
fair.
it's perseverance and dedication.
Yeah, we only get 13 days.
You,
I know.
you have a lot of things that you do that I admire, and I wish I could do that well. I mean, I don't know what they are, but I'm sure that there's lots of things. I bet you work really, really hard at your job, and you do a good job, even though I guess I do that too.
Yeah.
All right, so I go down, I clamp in a little bit, I get a ledge on the outside, a ledge on the inside. Look, my arms are down. I have a little ledge out there, I have a ledge on the inside. I come up, I'm coming up, I keep coming up. I'm not stopping. I was helping someone yesterday, I don't know if it was in this class or not,
Nice.
but
You know, like you only had 2 fingers touch on the inside.
yeah, that's okay. I mean, you can see mostly what I'm pulling with, these 2 fingers. But, you know, when I point that out and say it's just these 2 fingers, I have people that are throwing like this. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna use 2 fingers. So you go like this, so I don't teach that. Your fingers are gonna find its place, you know what I mean? I can only be so specific here, because I would go even more detailed. People will shut down. I mean, this is a really good demo, and I do teach it pretty well on the wheel, but I don't teach every nuance of what's going on, okay? So, this is where we're at. We're at number 1, up here. Throw a bowl to its potential, 3 to 4 inches. If it's this big, you did not pull at all. If it's this big. It's an ashtray, we don't make ashtrays. We want to pull the bowl to its potential. Now, this is a little bit high, maybe yours is going to be a little bit lower, but we just don't want a thick, heavy bowl. We just want to pull it to its potential. So, the whole purpose of this is to be able to take it off the wheel and keep it. So follow these steps. Once I'm done pulling, I don't use any more water, so I might as well just clean my hands off. And I didn't write that in your notes, but I clean my hands off.
Can it go higher?
It could. I mean, I could make it go a lot
You can
thinner.
make it go higher.
Yeah,
But you don't do it.
But I need this for trimming.
Just a little.
If you want, I have that ball right there. After I'm done, I'll try to make it as thin as possible.
All right, go.
Alright.
Okay?
Look, plan.
So, number 2, soak up the water. So, look, you got this bowl. How many people would be excited to have a bowl?
To have that
Everybody.
one, yeah.
Well, to have any bowl that they did on the wheel. This is what I want you to do. You get your bowl, okay? Oh, I got a bowl. Let's see what I do to take it off the wheel. Let's look at my notes. If they're gone, you need to open it up and go step by step. I don't focus on that enough. The fact that all this, I know it's boring, step by, oh, Mr. Allen wants me to look at my notes step by step. It's gonna help you. You're gonna be better off than people who didn't do it that way. So, number 2, I'm gonna sop up all the water and slip on this pot. Some people will have a lot of slip on it. All that came off, I soaked that up right there. I'm good to go. Hey, where's my towel? Okay, it's back there.
Don't forget it's Wednesday.
I know,
We leave at 10.
42,
So,
so we're good. All right, next step. You are gonna start keeping a rubber rib in here. And, metal rib. Well, it's metal or rubber, it's what you choose. I do the metal rib. Some students end up cutting themselves on the metal rib because they're a little bit careless. And no need to call names out, Riley. So we want to smooth the outside with this rib. I don't do it any different than what I was doing when I was pulling when my fingers are mirrored. I go down like this, my left hand's on the inside, I'm pushing against the metal rib. I'm going to lay it on like that. Now with my inside fingers, I'm pressing. Now be careful, if you hold this really sideways like this, it will do this weird thing where it goes like this. And it sticks to the pot.
And it'll cut you.
They don't cut you. So I hold it at an angle like that. My inside fingers, I'm pressing into the rib. I'm coming up. This will smooth the outside. I can come down a little bit. I can actually push it a little to make it go a little bit wider if I want. I would do that later on after you have like your 3rd or 4th bowl. Maybe change the outside a little bit. Okay, that was a little bit of slip that came off. I don't suggest going inside with this thing to smooth it out. Usually when beginners do it, they jab the corner of the rib down into it and it puts a big hole in it.
Can you do it?
Yes, I can. So I just hold it at an angle like this. And it's hard because really, if I was doing this the way that I preach it, I would hold my hand on the outside and I'd hold it left-handed, but I find it hard to do it left-handed like this, so I hold it like this. And it just makes the inside a little bit smoother. Okay, I'm done with that. Number 4, smooth the rim with a cut plastic bag. I would say that this is the one thing that mostly none of the students do. You know, they go out and they cut a little sliver of a bag off, they fold it over and lay it over the rim. It really makes your rim look good. It's craftsmanship. I would do it. There will be a few of these probably bouncing around over in the toolbox. You guys can share them if you want. But I just lay it over and it really makes the rim, round and shiny and nice. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to cut this off, but I can't just sit there and take this wire tool and just cut it off right now. When you throw, at the bottom of the pot, the clay kind of spreads out on the wheel. I have a little one right at the bottom where it's going like this. A lot of beginners have a lot of clay. And what causes that is when they go to pull, instead of taking their bottom middle finger and going all the way to the bottom, they start above the bottom. So then the clay is going like this. What I want you to do, before you cut this off, you need to, it is number 5, trim and bevel a small gap out of the bottom. Please watch closely. This is going to help you take the clay off the wheel. If you don't, the pot's going to stick to the wheel. I take my pointy edge, just like if you're at the end of the period, you're scraping the clay off. Hold this at an angle, like that. There's a little bit of clay out of there. I'm pressing in a little bit harder. I have a gap at the bottom of my pot by holding that point of the wooden rib in there. Okay? When I cut through this, that little gap makes a big difference for me to be able to pick up the pot. If it's spread out like that and you just cut off with the wire, it's probably going to stick and you won't be able to take it off. And there are going to be a lot of people that go to take these bowls off and it's going to be stuck. Number 6, get a wear board and place it on your bucket. There are a couple bowls that I did earlier. These new wear boards, not new, they're just pieces of wood I cut up. There's some out there, there's some in there, but they're white. I would use them. I would fill up 3 or 4 bowls instead of having 4 or 5 of the small ones on your shelf and you have no space. You guys notice something about the shelves?
You clean them.
I cleaned them off. I asked you guys a few times, didn't totally happen, so I took it upon myself. So, this is what I'm going to do. I got my wear board up there. I'm going to take my wire. There's about 4 or 5 wires. They're going to be around. You guys share them. I'm not going to put out 16. You're going to take this and you're going to make it tight. Put your thumbs up against the bat and you're going to cut. As soon as you cut, you'll put your hands on the side and you're going to tilt forward. If you tilt forward, you're going to get all your bowls off easy. You take it and pull it straight up. For some reason, it sticks to it and you won't be able to get it off. The other thing is, if it's all wet and slippy and slimy and your hands are wet, you're definitely not getting it off either. So that's why we follow the steps. Okay? So I got it tight. I'm going to take my thumbs. If I do it loose like this,